Welcome to Frequency Matters, the RF and Microwave Update series. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Gary Lerude. In this episode, we thought we'd continue our coverage of the November military and government electronics issue. We covered the technical features in the last episode, and as a reminder, the cover feature looks at the challenges and opportunities in defense systems for 2019, so that's a good article to look at.
Definitely.
So we thought we'd talk about the products now, and the first product feature is a new series of extended frequency range thin film resistors from AVX. And those now go to 20 gigahertz, and they're in an 0402 format. They're tantalum nitride thin film resistors, and they have built-in compensation so they can even achieve higher performance. And the second product feature is a very innovative low-loss, low-cost distribution system for RF energy applications from Huber and Sooner.
Yes.
The connector is integrated directly into the module housing, so it minimizes the loss and the cost. And you can directly connect it to the antenna or a low-cost polymer-supported waveguide system. So to me, this is kind of the last piece in reducing the costs and bringing to market a solid-state microwave oven. Because we have companies like Amplion and Maycom who've been working on the amplifier,
right.
Companies like Rogers doing the laminate, and now this is the last piece, the connector and distribution system. So we should see these systems in the next year or two, I think.
Right. I thought it was a nice article, nice concept. They've kind of taken a system engineering approach to it.
What do we have for tech briefs?
Well, we have three. API Weinschel has a programmable attenuator. It's got a 31.5 dB range in half dB steps, and it covers 100 megahertz to 40 gigahertz, so it'd be great for automatic test systems. We have from DB Control a 4 kilowatt amplifier. Wow. As you might imagine, this is a traveling wave tube amplifier. Covers 7.5 gigahertz to 18 gigahertz. So a number of applications for that. And then Z Communications has a fixed phase-locked oscillator that runs at 16 gigahertz, and the phase noise is minus 82 dBc per hertz at a 10 kilohertz offset. So that's an interesting product as well.
Well, great lineup of products. So turning to the news, I usually talk about 5G, but I'm going to switch it up this time.
Right.
So the census is our government and military electronics issue. I thought I'd run down some of the recent contract wins. So we had Lockheed Martin getting an additional $6 billion to continue production of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. This is a part of a $23 billion contract, so one of the few big systems-oriented contracts out there right now. And then we had Kratos, and they got about $15 million to do drone and unmanned ground systems, and they got an additional $10 million to do some airborne EW and communication systems, so they seem to be like they're on a roll right now. And lastly, Raytheon got $34 million, and they're going to deliver some common array block GaN-based antenna systems. This is part of the U.S. Navy's cooperative engagement capability systems that brings together multi-sensors into one.
I think that program has been around for my whole career.
Some of them do. They linger along.
Yeah.
What did you see in the news?
Well, just to tag on to your point, I think the defense market is really seeing some growth, some funding now. In terms of news from my standpoint, as we speak, the FCC is auctioning 28 gigahertz for 5G, and that's going to go at least into the week after Thanksgiving. And then they're going to immediately step to 24 gigahertz. And then next year they're going to do basically frequencies 37, 39, and 47 gigahertz. So I think it's amazing. If you look at all the spectrum that's going to be auctioned in the next year, it's more than all the combined spectrum that all the carriers in the U.S. have today.
Wow.
And then the other thing, just to mention it, the FCC last week approved 4 LEO constellation systems for, most of them are to do broadband satellite internet. One of them is more for IoT applications, but we're going to start to see in the next year some of these systems literally get off the ground.
And now we have a special guest in the studio, Kevin Walsh. He's the Mobile Products Marketing Director at Skyworks, and he joins us to discuss 5G and their Sky 5 platform. So let's take a look at a portion of that interview earlier today.
So we're hearing a lot of buzz, as you noted, about 5G and a lot of talk about handsets about to come out. What can you tell us about the emergence of handsets with the sub-6 gigahertz performance?
So I got to tell you, so very quick changes in the market for 5G. I would say LTE Advanced Pro is really where we're at right now. So we're starting to see, inclusion of 4x4 MIMO, higher order modulation, really trying to enhance the user experience, videos and streaming data, things like that. So that's really been kind of where the industry's at. And now we're at this very big disruption curve going to 5G. That really is going to change quite a bit, and it's going to change both on the front end and the whole ecosystem. So from a 5G perspective, if you looked at 2G to 3G, that was very much improvement in the telecom. It was improvement in the smartphone, getting the data rates up. The click from 4G to 5G is very disruptive, and I think we don't, as an industry, kind of get that yet, but it really gets you involved in more market verticals. So you're going to start to see, you know, your car is going to look like a flagship smartphone on wheels, right? Your IoT, your sensor markets are going to be out in the market. So it's really more of a cohesive ecosystem trying to drive data from, you know, every little sensor out there all the way to, you know, mobile communications, whether that's, you know, mobility as we understand it today, or even things that we don't even think about today, industrial automation, things like that. 5G is going to be, you know, the enabler to get there. So much improvement in the performance, but it's also going to take the complexity and scale that up quite a bit too.
It's always good to catch up with Kevin. Him and I go back to the old Alpha Industry days before it became Skyworks.
Right.
So a very knowledgeable guy.
Right. And Skyworks is doing a lot of work in 5G. I'm really impressed with, they're kind of in a leadership position.
And turning to events, we're kind of winding down the year. We don't really have much else planned, but Electronica just finished up in Munich and set records for exhibition and attendance. I think they had nearly 80,000 people attend that, so a huge electronics show. And of course they emphasize IoT-based applications, autonomous cars, Industry 4.0, etc. So it was an interesting event to observe from a distance.
Yeah, that's a major show.
So anything on your side?
No, I think quiet down, wrap up a few things by the end of the year. I think we have one more episode, our holiday episode. We'll look forward to doing that. So that's it for this episode. We want to thank you for watching, and we want to thank Skyworks for making it possible. They're our sponsor on this episode. Until next time.